Raghav Awasthi, do you think all is still well between the RSS, the Sangh and the Bharatiya Janata Party? Or clearly there's been disquiet and it was just waiting to come out, what we've seen, and we haven't seen just one such instance.
No, I'm not going to go to the extent of saying that there is any disquiet, but the fact is this.
Okay, Raghav Awasthi, we've lost you, but we're going to try and connect back. Let me say not disquiet, Raghav Awasthi, if we still have you. Was there at least, where the elections was concerned, a hands-off approach by the RSS when it came down to campaigning for the BJP? Okay, we're going to try and get in Raghav. Ashutosh, you want to take that question? Because at least that is something that we did see. Lots of times I remember, we've discussed in television studios that there's something off on ground. We don't see that kind of support by the RSS. Did you see a hands-off approach this election?
The tension between the BJP and the RSS has been simmering for a very, very long time. Mr. Bhagwat has chosen the right time to strike back and to reclaim the ground which the RSS has conceded in the last few years. There is a serious disquiet and there is a serious understanding within the RSS sector at the top level. The top level is that in the direction that Narendra Modi and the BJP is taking Hindutva, this is going to tarnish the image of the Hindutva, Hindu and the RSS itself. So Mohan Bhagwat is very categorical, and whatever he has said, he has not withdrawn. The people on behalf of the RSS are coming on the TV channels are claiming that this is not what he meant. I want to hear Mohan Bhagwat or the official spokesperson of the RSS to come out openly and say his statement does not mean to attack the BJP or to target it to Narendra Modi. The fact of the matter is that everything, whatever has been said by Mohan Bhagwat, he stands by, and it is more than 72 hours. He hasn't withdrawn. He hasn't done anything to retrieve. The point number 2, why this is happening? This is happening for the simple reason because today the RSS, which believed in the collective leadership, the RSS which believed into the organization. Today, the one person, Mr. Narendra Modi, has become bigger than the organization, bigger than the ideology, and that is where the concern of the RSS is. This does not mean that Mr. Narendra Modi has not worked on the ideology. He has worked on the ideology. Rather, the BJP ideology has been strengthened, but he is taking too far, and that is where the problem lies. And today, RSS thinks that if the kind of condemnation which is Hindutva is getting globally, if it goes, it continues like that, then it is going to tarnish the image of Hindu and Hindutva globally, and that is going to damage BJP and the RSS. And Indresh Kumar is not an ordinary leader. He is at par with the, if not at par, at least in the Sangh Ayu jise kehte hain, the age, since the day you join RSS, Indresh Kumar and Bhagwat are almost at the same Sangh Ayu. So his words has to be taken seriously. He has withdrawn, partially has withdrawn his statement. I agree, complete that point. But there is a serious problem in the RSS and the BJP, Bhagwat and Narendra Modi.
Mr. Mukhopadhyay, I'll come to you, Mr. Ragi. Allow me to go back to Mukhopadhyay and I'll come right back to you after that. Mr. Mukhopadhyay, to draw you back into this conversation, the fact is, it's not always that the relationship till now has been great between the RSS and the BJP. It's blown hot, blown cold. You look at the Vajpayee era, where you had K.S. Sudarshan as the Sarsang Chalak. Even then, it got a little cold. I remember there was a time, when I was reading up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, on the issue of who will be the finance minister. You had a Mr. Vajpayee who wanted Jaswant Singh, but the RSS was very clear that they wanted Yashwant Sinha. After that, the cold relationship, there seemed to be a thaw, especially after Mohan Bhagwat came into the picture. So there's been a history of ups and downs, Mr. Mukhopadhyay.
Yes, of course. The incident that you are referring to was in 1998, March 1998, when Mr. Vajpayee was to form the first, NDA government. And the RSS was very clear that Pramod Mahajan and Jaswant Singh would not become ministers because they had lost the Lok Sabha elections. They said that it is against the ethos of the Sangh Parivar that anybody who has lost the election should be made a minister. It was made very clear to Mr. Vajpayee that you can bring them into parliament by another route through the Rajya Sabha or another by-election, and then you can make them minister. So then a way out was found that Pramod Mahajan was appointed as the advisor to the Prime Minister in the PMO, and Jaswant Singh was sent to the Planning Commission as the deputy chairman. And a few months later, when they were brought into the Rajya Sabha, they were made ministers. So that is how it happened. There was also this great hostility between the RSS and the BJP. 2004 and 5, 2004, people from the BJP alleged that one of the reasons as to why the party could not win, end up as the single largest party was because the RSS did not effectively campaign for them. And then 2005, there was a tremendous drive by the Sarsang Chalak of that time, K.S. Sudarshan, to get Advani and Mr. Vajpayee to vacate the leadership position for new people to come in. And they kept on pressuring till the time that they actually, sidelined Mr. Advani out as the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha first, and then later on, eventually, Narendra Modi was made the prime ministerial candidate of the BJP in 2013. So the RSS has played a role. There have been occasions where ties have been very strained, which is what is appearing now. And the big question is that the coordination, the participation in the coordination committee meetings, where the RSS would be meeting and listening to reports of what has happened of all the organizations which are part of the Sangh Parivar. Somebody says Mr. Ragi said 69. I think if I heard him correctly, somebody says 40. There is actually no fixed figure, but there is actually a huge network of organizations. Virtually every walk of life, you have the presence of RSS. We have to accept that. So there is that coordination meeting. What I would be looking at is that the next time that there is such a meeting, is the BJP present there to discuss what it has to say? Regarding the various statements which are being made, I think it is also being caused. The article in the Organizer, everybody knows that the Organizer and the Panchjane were launched by the RSS way back in the 1940s. It's actually a very convenient arrangement that we are not connected, but we are also connected. When it is convenient, you say we are connected. When it is not convenient, you say it is not.
But you do give the message out. The messaging is very clear.
You have had Mr. Vajpayee as the editor of one of the two, magazines. He was the editor of Panchjane. You have had very senior leaders. K.R. Malkani was the editor of Organizer at one point. Mr. Advani used to write for the Organizer at one point. Very, interestingly, on cinema. So there have been very close connections, and anything which is published in the Organizer cannot be said that it is just somebody else writing. There is obviously a certain concern which is being voiced.
No, and voiced, and at least the messaging has been delivered. Now, what happens after that? Who takes it back? And it's it's not just one person saying it. But Professor Ragi, you wanted to come in. I'll come back to you. Also, we've got Raghav Awasthi back into this conversation. The fact is, Professor Ragi, for somebody who does follow the RSS, the influence of the RSS has diminished, like Mr. Mukhopadhyay also elucidated with examples. Gone are the days where the RSS could actually control on who will be the finance minister, who will be taken to the planning commission. That's not really happening at this point of time. So there has to be admittance, at least, that communication is not there. That kind of control is not there. Is there disquiet, at least perception-wise, optics-wise? Yes.
There can be a difference of opinion between two organizations. RSS is an organization which is separate from the Bharatiya Janata Party, but that cannot be, concluded as the disquiet between the two organizations. Number one. Number two, nobody denied that the RSS doesn't have a link with the Panchjane or Organizer, but there you need to make a distinction between the fact that what appears in the news magazine or the Organizer or the Panchjane doesn't mean that the writer's voice is the voice of the RSS at all. RSS is not consulted by any. I can also write article in the RSS. I have written so many times for the RSS Organizer and the Panchjane. That doesn't mean that is the voice of the RSS at all. I think that you are reading too much into it. Interestingly, you rightly mentioned that when Vajpayee government was there, Dattopant Thengri called Jaswant Sinha, who was the preferable choice of the RSS, that he is not Arth Mantri, he is Anarth Mantri. Earlier, the RSS was against Jaswant Singh, but subsequently, because you know that when the Vajpayee government was formed for 13 days, on 7th day, Enron project was signed, which was opposed by Swadeshi Jagran Manch. And let me answer Asutosh. What Asutosh is talking about is just based on the grapevine and the rumor mills which keep going on. I'm not denying that there is no difference of opinion between the RSS and the BJP. But let me tell you one point, that in the Delhi itself, 125,000 meetings were organized by the RSS. I am again repeating this statement. 125,000 meetings were organized by the RSS, which went into probably all the nook and corners of Delhi and arranged meeting. So to say that the RSS didn't work for, that's incorrect. That is erroneous.
All right, okay, but Professor Ragi, you gave the example of Delhi, and possibly you can be correct. But you can half those meetings because in Haryana, the messaging was very different. In Uttar Pradesh, the messaging was very different. So in certain states where the political dynamics were conducive with the state government and the state leadership, it worked beautifully because there was coordination. Otherwise, there wasn't.
No, I don't think that without support of the RSS, the BJP would have got, complete, all the seats in Madhya Pradesh or even in other states.
No, fair
what do
point.
you think that the BJP didn't work in Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, or in
Let me cut across to Raghav Avasthi, and also, I want to bring in Raghav Avasthi into this conversation as well. Raghav Avasthi, I'm sorry to cut you short, just need to, get on with closing comments. But the fact is, does the BJP now, Raghav Avasthi, need to introspect? Because somewhere down the line, it needs to understand, does it need the RSS as hugely as before, or can it ride out on its own?
I think there is definitely a need for introspection. Nobody is denying that. The fact is that the BJP has actually fallen short of the high standards that it has set for itself. There is absolutely no denying that, and if you're actually denying that, then I think it's not correct. And secondly, yes, the RSS has played a major role. It has birthed the BJP. It has been the ideological mentor. But to say that there should be interference of the RSS in day-to-day matters of the BJP is also wrong. What we need to do now is to sit down and try and figure out as to why the BJP could not cross 300 seats. Because 300 seats, or at least even get a clear majority, because fact that all of these so-called secular politicians who are saying today that they have some sort of great love.
Okay. All right, let's take, we're having a problem with your audio link, Raghav. We need to correct that.